Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Pauly Howard, Mike Palm, VP of Circa. Mitch Moss on vacation. Back Tuesday. Sirius XM Channel 158. We're live from Circa downtown Las Vegas. Get down here and book your trip, by the way. VSiN 15. Get 15% off CircaLasVegas.com. Nigel Seeley to talk a little soccer at the bottom of the hour. Win some, lose some, and maybe a little real or fugazi in your reaction to keep them coming, by the way. The responses are excellent. Don't be that guy. The dirty dozen. Don't do this at a casino. Hockey now. 4 nations tomorrow. USA, Canada. USA with the blowout win yesterday. And round-robin format. And we'll get a little NHL futures as well. Our contributor, Jonathan Davis, joins us now as West Coast Hockey on X with a couple picks. How you doing, my friend? I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. It's going to be awesome.
Tomorrow night is going to be amazing. I mean, you think about the fact that, Drew Doughty, the LA Kings, all he could think about when he got hurt was he going to be able to play? Matthew Tkachuk, after the game last night, I've been waiting 9 years to be able to play in a tournament like this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes.
Let's start with Sweden and Finland. And you want to go with Sweden team total over?
Yeah, over 3.5. I mean, this is really a play against the fact that, Finland's got the worst blue line in this tournament. They're missing their top 2 guys, Miro Heiskanen from the Dallas Stars, Risto Ristolainen from the Philadelphia Flyers, and it's a patchwork blue line, and they got exposed last night eventually by the USA. I think they get exposed again. I mean, Kevin Lankinen gets the start for Finland. I think he should have started game 1. But Lankinen will go in game 2. He's going to have to be their best player. I just think the blue line's way too weak.
Lankinen's been better than Saros at Nashville, Jonathan. Does that give you any pause on this bet? I mean, I'd much rather see Saros tomorrow.
Well, I would much rather see it from Sweden's standpoint. I just think the blue line for Finland, it's so bad. I mean, you a lot of times, like in an NHL game, you can put your third pairing out there and, you get a bit of a break because they're usually going to play against the bottom pair. Well, bottom pair in this tournament, bottom 6 forwards in this tournament is number 1 line or 2 line in the NHL. I just think it's too much to overcome.
How about some props you like, not only for tomorrow in this game, but for the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, look, Sweden, for Sweden, a big Adrian Kempe guy from the LA Kings. I took him at 8-1 for most goals for his team. I like him again tomorrow for an anytime goal. He did score in game 1. Jesper Bratt for the New Jersey Devils. I think he's, second in assists in the NHL. You can get him in this game at plus 154. That's down from plus 190 in the first game. I just think that's a juicy price. And then Victor Hedman on the blue line. I always like to find a defenseman. Like to find a defenseman who plays the power play. Hedman was 220 in game 1. He's down to 180 just for 1 assist in this one. I'll take Hedman as well, plus 180.
All right, USA, Canada. How about the total? 6.5 in some spots.
I like the over. I just think that, you guys have been talking about it throughout the show. Both goalies are susceptible to giving up bad goals. Sweden scored 3 against Canada in game 1. I don't see why. Look, I see this as a 3-3, 4-4 game that goes to overtime. Wouldn't surprise me. So I definitely like over 6.5 in this one. Also like the first period over. We've had a first period over in each of the first 2 games. I think we get one here, Canada and the U.S.
Jonathan, I said on Tuesday I'd bet all 6 games in the round robin over, because I think the intensity will pick up just in the finals. I don't think guys want to get hurt in these initial games, unless maybe in the final 2 games there's a spot where somebody has to win to get in. To my eyes, and I have Canada to win it all, Jonathan. To my eyes, the Canadians look faster than the U.S. from these first 2 games. They look like they played together longer, and the power play is better, and they have the best coach in the world in Cooper. I think all that outweighs any advantage. It might be Hellebuck over Bennington, but I'm not sure of Hellebuck in a pressure spot.
I think all of that's fair, Mike. I think Canada, I agree with you. Canada looked so fast. USA looked very tentative, really, for 37 minutes last night against Finland. I mean, they got those 2 goals in 11 seconds, beginning of the third period, to break it wide open, but they did not look very cohesive. And yeah, Canada was flying. And I mean, I don't know about you, but my reaction when Canada scored that first goal in the power play. I mean, it was like the Harlem Globetrotters out there against the Washington Generals. They look very good. And McKinnon and Crosby, I mean, a lot of the talk in Canada is, is there a way that we can make this happen for the NHL, that Crosby can get traded and play with his good buddy Nathan McKinnon in Colorado?
How about some props you like on the game?
Yeah, okay. So on the Team USA side, Matt Boldy from the Minnesota Wild, an anytime goal at plus 410. There's something going on. Look, Minnesota has dominated Montreal, and all the Minnesota players have gotten on the score sheet in this tournament so far. Boldy, Faber, Eriksson Ek, all players from Minnesota that have scored. I like Boldy again to score at plus 410. I think it's a great price. I like Mark Stone. He's one of my guys that I picked as a long shot for the most goals for Canada. I mean, he's playing with McKinnon and Crosby. All he's got to do is basically just sit at the side of the net while those guys are passing the puck. You get him at plus like 350 tomorrow. I've got him at 14-1 for most goals. And I do like McKinnon again tomorrow at about plus 190, 195 to score a goal. Just so dynamic. Oh, and Jack Eichel plus 310. All the goal props, I play really small, kind of like pizza money bets, because there's so many players to choose from on both rosters.
Yeah. Well, you've hit a couple of these, on a regular basis, these big tickets. Check them out all the time at vsin.com with his write-ups. Jonathan Davis, our hockey guy, VSiN contributor at West Coast Hockey on X. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow the money, Pauly and Mike Palm. Well, forget about the Leafs. Will the drought end for Canada? Can the Leafs get this done? Can Canada finally win a cup?
I like them strictly from a price point, Pauly. I think they're the best shot for Canada. I'm still not buying Winnipeg. You guys have, like I said, you've talked about playoff Hellebuck. There are a lot of guys in that roster come playoff time. They just seem to fold up like a cheap suit. So I do like Toronto. I think you're getting a good price on them. You've got them at 7-1 to win the East, 12-1 to win the Cup. They're going to make a deal at the deadline. I think they're going to help. Either on the blue line or, they'll find some a depth center. They've got guys that are just nasty, guys like Matthew Nyes and Bobby McCann, players they didn't have before. The only caveat for me with Toronto is that until Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner hate to lose more than they like to win, that's my one concern with them, because they also have the best goaltending, I believe, in the Eastern Conference.
I think Joe Woll can go on a run like Bennington did a few years ago. I really do, and I love to watch Berube's team play. They're good on the road. They don't give up much on the road. They play very well defensively. It's interesting you're talking about the Wild in Montreal. I said this is a bad look for John Hines here. These first couple of games, because every Wild scoring. Jonathan Davis, do you concur any international hockey games played in North America should be played at the Bell Center?
The Bell Center is the best spot. Look, no one does it better than Montreal. It's first class, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do tomorrow night for the game, who they bring out for the anthem. They're keeping it a secret. There was some talk like, considering what happened at the Super Bowl, is there a way to get Drake in there? But he's in Australia for a concert. So I do wonder, I think it's Celine Dion that's going to come and do the anthem tomorrow night to do the Canadian national anthem. But what they did with, it got to 109 decibels for Mario Lemieux when he came out on the ice for that first game. Even Teemu Selanne got a great response. No one does it better. No one knows how to do ceremonies better than Montreal and the Canadiens.
Jonathan, the booing again of the American anthem. You were there in the 70s for the Soviet series. You probably attended several of those games. They stood at attention for the Red Army, that brutal dictatorship that suppressed everything. And now it's booing of the American national anthem. You've got to have sort of turn away when you hear that, don't you? I don't care for it whatsoever. I mean, they've made announcements prior to the anthems being sung about being respectful. It wasn't. I mean, I talked to people who were there who were at the game. They said, it wasn't overwhelming, but you definitely heard it. It's just, it sucks. It just sucks. It's just, and it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna be super loud or louder tomorrow than it was yesterday.
My source is telling me maybe Vince Neil can make an appearance with the anthem tomorrow as well. Yeah, looking for that. You like anything in the Western Conference?
Yeah, look, I think that there's value on the Golden Knights, both for the Western to win the West, because they're going to make a trade. I mean, it's in Kelly McCrimmon, their GM's DNA. He's going to find a way to improve this roster. He's already made one to get Brandon Saad. The LA Kings, pains me to say it, but at 15-1 to win the West, I think it's worth, just strictly on the price, it's worth it. So those are two teams, and Colorado at 7-1 and 15-1 respectively to win the conference and to win the cup. I like it. I would rather take Colorado at 7-1 than 15-1, but I see value in there.
Jonathan, is it too early to say that Connor Bedard was way overhyped?
Oh, Mike.
No, not at all. Oh my God, no. Give that guy some players. He's got a bunch of placeholders, Mike, that he's playing with this year. You've seen flashes of Bedard and some of the goals that he scored. I mean, there's really not much on this team. No, I don't think so.
I just tell you, I think that Celebrini is more impressive to me on a bad team as well than Bedard has been.
I think that Celebrini. Well, okay, I think that's fair. Because for me, Celebrini, right now, obviously the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year. He's had some better players to play with. I'm big on Bedard. I really think the Blackhawks, to me, Mike, they're like, I would grab, as soon as the futures come out for next season, I would be grabbing some pieces on Chicago. They're going to spend in free agency.
Yep. Might be 20-1. They'll be on TV.
Get your coat, Michael. Great job, Jonathan. We'll talk to you. We'll get closer to the playoffs.
Enjoy.
Thanks, John.
Excellent. Win some, lose some next.
Night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, final day of the association, the first half. Hitting the break now. Warriors +1 to -2. They get the money against the Rockets. Pelicans +280. Come all the way back and beat the Kings as 8.5-point dogs. Fascinating game. T-Wolves +380. Surprise OKC. So that prop now is a dead heat. Who will have the best record at the All-Star break? Cavs, Thunder, identical record. College hoops, NCAA 6-1. Denver +320. Pacific +575. A lot of these, like Richie Bachelleri said, a lot of these big dogs are cashing every night. Northeastern, 2.5 up to 5, they get the cheese. Charleston, UNC Wilmington over, 149.5 up to 154.5. That's good. And the Wes Reynolds, one of the Wes Reynolds plays. The last place team was favored against the first place team. Sam Houston State from pick up to 3, and they get it done. How many times do you see that? And the Genesis Open, McCarthy, first round leader, 60-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Look at this guy. He's sitting there, made in the space. You go out to get something to eat at the restaurant, and you got this guy staring at you. Hey, buddy. Yeah, how you doing? The bulldog turning around. Can I get some? Can I have a snack? But just staring at you the whole time. He's pulling the Jordan, maybe, where he's looking, just waiting for something to fall. You drop something. But that's no invasion of privacy. That's a little guy checking you out as you're getting something to eat at the restaurant. He's turning around, and you see that face. How about the dog on the stair machine? Like Richie on the treadmill. Used to be, right? Look at this guy. This is incredible, though. This is how he gets up the stairs every day, and what the owner put together. God knows how long this took, how much money, maybe health concerns with the legs, who knows. But this is awesome, how the little guy gets up there.
Look how steep those stairs are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ludicrous.
Wow. But also coming up like it's, like the old person going up there, a little elevator, and I got on my ride to the top, and I'm good, and that's where I sleep every single night. And that's the view from the neighbor looking in and seeing what they have at full marks. That's great. Well done at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Lose some. Thunder from 4.5 up to 9.5. Could even win the game. Minnesota, they cut it.
Minnesota loses at home to Milwaukee without Freak or Lillard, and then they go on the road and win it. Come on.
You figure it out, right? Thunder came back and tied it, and then Minnesota said, okay, enough of this, and then they blew them out. Clippers from 7 up to 10. Won in overtime. That was an entertaining game. Attention all serious sports bettors. If you're thinking about playing in the 2025 Circa Millions or Survivor contest, now's the time to get ahead of the game with Winner's Circle, Proxy, and VEASAN. Sign up today. Exclusive offers, a drawing for a free Circa contest entry or proxy service. Lock in special pricing on Winner's Circle Proxy service for 2025. And as a bonus, you get access to expert contest strategies from past winners and VEASAN pros. Head to winnercircleproxy.com/VEASAN. winnercircleproxy/VEASAN. Palm hit it out of the park an hour ago. Don't be that guy, the Dirty Dozen, with the list. There was a couple, the tweets and emails keep coming in. They're fantastic with the reaction, but there was a couple you wanted to hit on.
Petty Rack wins it for me. I blew this.
Yeah.
I missed this one. At Big Daddy Rack RAQ. Don't be the guy that buys in on a craps table when the point's on. He's 100% right. Somebody's shooting at a point. You wait till they 7 out or you wait till they make the point, and it's the come out roll. It's awful. Every time somebody does that in the middle of a roll where they've had at least 7 or 8 rolls, I'm off the next roll. It's a kiss of death.
Yeah.
Stop the game to buy in while somebody's shooting. It's got a rhythm going. It's awful. Just be courteous. People don't know it. I almost say you should test. You say, like, just can you wait till? And then they complain because what if the guy takes him 14 numbers? Praying, but takes him 14 numbers to get to the point.
Right.
Or then you just wait out of courtesy.
Yeah. Well, we can't agree on much, but a lot of people, and Chris Massero got it going, can't stand the cigar smoke. And that's a lot of people picking up what he's putting down. Getting rid of cigars would be a great step. Paul Bovey, Massero, I don't understand why 6 guys would want to be sitting together indoors smoking cigars at the same time. The Jackie Gleason days are over. It was good from Massero, but he got that going about. I think that's. I think he's made a good point with that. That's not bad. Strong. The other one too, because you went down the you went with the airport angle too, which you have the people, Jeff Staples, the people that stand up against the carousel baggage claimant, and you can't get to your luggage. That's another.
It's also ridiculous. Step back and just
get
look,
back.
see where your luggage is. You don't need to press yourself up against.
Yes, that's another good one. A guy who walks around the sports book. This is from CLE Picks, asking everyone what they're on and then doesn't place a bet. That guy's out of control. Yeah. Hey, what do you like? What do you on?
What do you got?
Go up to the ticket writers. What do they bet?
Yeah.
What do you need? Okay. Don't be the guy that yells winner, winner, chicken dinner every time he wins a hand of blackjack. That's from Jason. That's good. Excellent. Those are good. Back to the list, though. Don't be that guy in case you missed an hour ago. Barbara Pole, the chips. Guy that plays the don't pass and cheers when a 7 comes and the rest of the table loses. Guy that blows smoke in other people's faces. Big problem with the dealer, especially when they lose a hand. That is outrageous. Guy that yells, hey, they don't tip me when I lose. Or it says they don't tip me when I lose. The guy that claps every time a basket is scored. From the get-go, from Jump Street during a basketball game. Insanity. The guy that sets the dice and then shakes them prior to shooting. And the guy who says, I'm a friend of Derek. When they're ready to ask for something, the big favor comes in, right? That's half of the Dirty Dozen. Very good. Number 1, the guy that tells everyone else how to play and usually has the least amount of chips in front of him. Big at the blackjack table.
Oh, all the time.
Hit this. Don't do that. Split. I would do this.
What are you doing?
That's right. That too. Yeah. Which my favorite is number 3, because you can also be the guy that just sat down and says, "I haven't seen a cocktail waitress in 30 minutes," or the guy who just sat down and loses the first 3 hands. I can't win a hand. I lose every hand.
Some of the kids in the back say that's the person that doesn't even play. They sit down. They put $20 in the video poker machine. They're not even telling they just want a free drink. They're the ones that wait. They're not going to wait for the free drink.
Yeah.
They're the ones that complain. Have anybody seen a cocktail waitress?
Yeah. The guy that splashes his chips on the numbers on a craps layout.
And poker, too, splashing the pot.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
We used to have a guy, we played in a home game in Chicago, 40-80 dealer's choice. We had a kill pot on 700. If the pot was close to, he could scoop it so fast before we'd have to say, stop, leave the chips there. He didn't want to pay the kill. He was a little stiff Mitch in him.
Interesting. This was from Von Tobel. The guy that posts the taken sign on a chair and disappears for half an hour. Sports book, video poker, wherever it may be. Big in the horse racing, with the horse racing too. where you'll see taken right down on the seat. And then wherever the guy's been here for half an hour. What, he's going for a walk?
Tweet the guy that screams getting the hole on a par 4 or 5.
Yeah, well, that's in person,
Mm-hmm.
but that's also, you hear it at the sports book too. That's how, I asked Butch Harmon about that one time. He said they're idiots and they should kick them out. You're screaming, get in the hole on a par 4, par 5 tee shot, right? It's like mashed potato. He hates mashed potatoes, guy. He hates Baba Booey. He can't stand all of them, which a problem from the gallery. But that's getting the hole, guy's terrible. Yeah, that's a good one too. Excellent. Thanks for the feedback. Keep them coming. Tweet at us or email ftm@vsin.com. Good point earlier about the start time with Houston, Arizona at 1 o'clock Pacific, and then Alabama, Auburn, because it's going to take longer than 2 hours. So Bama and Auburn fans are already on this because it's number 1 against number 2, that the game will start on ESPN News. I don't know why they continue to do this.
And they can't back up the game to start time because there's another game at 3, 5, 7. They do every 2 hours the whole day. They got to start scheduling them 2:15. Or stop this incessant reviewing to put 0.2 of a second back. Well, let's go to 3-1 to 3-2.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm with you. But did anything jump out at the card where your best bet could be on Saturday?
I'm looking at the game Richie and I talked about, Arkansas at A&M.
Yeah,
which is always played on a neutral in football, but will be played at A&M. I may have a best bet on that coming up.
You got UCLA, Indiana is so intriguing tonight because of they're great in the Pacific time zone, and then we know about the complaining and how bad they've been when they have to come east, and then you got Indiana, who just shocked the world as an 11-point dog. And if you want to go out and play hard and win one for Woodson, and now the pressure's off. I don't know how you want to say that, but that they could come out free and loose, and they were awesome in the last game. And they're UCLA 2 tonight on the road. And the other angle is does Michigan State and Izzo bounce back against Illinois? And they're 5.5-point dogs tomorrow.
Illinois is very good. I do believe that they have a shot to make a run. So I think there's an Elite Eight type team.
Really?
I think they can put it together. Underwood is very good.
Yeah.
You don't talk about Brad Underwood enough.
And you're a little bit down. You think a little Fugazi with Sparty?
I think they played over their skis a little bit so far this year.
Okay.
With Izzo's team.
All right. I told you, eclectic mix. We're going to cover it all. Soccer, Nigel Seeley. The GOAT up next, Visa contributor. Man City, Newcastle. He's up vsin.com. He's got an opinion on that game, and we'll get his thoughts on the Premier League, lower leagues as well, and then Real or Fugazi, and then in pocket before we get out of here as well. Not much to go through with NBA and NHL being off, but we'll find something. All that coming up straight ahead. Live from Circa, downtown Las Vegas. We love it. Come out here, circalasvegas.com, code VSIN15. Get 15% off Sirius XM channel 158. VSIN Watch app. Pauly Howard, Mike Palm in for Mitch Moss. Nigel next, VSIN.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
All right, fun show today. A lot of great guests. Great job by Mike, and thanks to all the reaction from all the listeners and viewers as well. It's time to visit with Nigel Seeley, a VSIN contributor, covers soccer and tennis, vsin.com, and we get up early. Let's go 4:30 a.m. Pacific for Arsenal and Leicester City. Nigel's pick on that. Take it away, Nigel.
Hello, everyone. It's Nigel Seeley here, and I'm back after a week off last week. And the Premier League is back after a week of FA Cup action, and there are some great fixtures to get betting on over the weekend. All my 3 best bets are on Saturday, and we don't have to wait long. We're first betting straight away in the early kickoff between Leicester and Arsenal. It's been a tough week for Mikel Arteta and the Gunners. Kai Havertz, their main goal scorer, has been ruled out for the season, which has been a huge dent on their title aspirations. He joins a long list of players who are injured, Saka, Martinelli, which really means that Arsenal are going to struggle to score goals. The one thing Arsenal do not struggle with, though, is conceding goals. They're very, very strong defensively. They've got the second best road record in the Premier League defensively, and I think they're going to be too strong for Leicester despite the injuries. Leicester are around double figures to win this price. Arsenal were -$5 earlier in the week, now down to -3 on the money line. But I think the best way to play this here is Arsenal to win tonight nil, which is even money. Arsenal to win and not to concede. Leicester's last 4 home matches, they've lost 3-0 to Wolves, 2-0 to Man City, 2-0 to Crystal Palace, and 2-0 to Fulham. And I expect Arsenal to come away with maximum points, but the problems are ahead with some much difficult fixtures. So Arsenal to win to nil is my first bet of the weekend up against Leicester. My second bet is in the 10 o'clock Eastern time kickoff. In the big game of the Premier League, I think, this week, is Manchester City up against Newcastle. The champions are in big, big troubles. That continued in midweek with that 3-2 home defeat against Real Madrid, which means the return leg next week in the Champions League at the Bernabeu is going to be a very, very difficult task for Pep Guardiola's men. I think they're going to have one eye on that match in the Spanish capital. Defensively, they're all over the place. They're conceding goals at an alarming rate. If you look at their goals, their last 10 matches, all of them have been over 2.5 goals in their matches. 9 have over 3.5 goals, 6 over 4.5, and 4 over 5.5. Newcastle have got goals in them. They've only failed to score once on the road in 15 matches, and they've scored at least 2 in 8 of their last 9 road matches. We could go for over 4.5 goals here, which I think is a bit of value at plus 280, but I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm going to go for Newcastle on the money line at plus 260. I think it's too big a price. Newcastle with Isaac have got goal threat. Man City are defensively all over the place, and they have some big fixtures to come. Wednesday, Madrid. The following Sunday, Liverpool. So for me, the worries for Man City continue in the champions, and I'm going to go for Newcastle to win this match in what I expect to be a goal fest. One match where I do not expect to be a goal fest is the late match. It's 12:30 Eastern time. Crystal Palace against Everton. This has 0-0 written all over it. I was at a match between these two sides in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. It was 0-0. It was the most boring match I've ever seen. 2023, 2022, 2023 season, it was 0-0 this fixture. 19-20, 0-0. 18-19 the season, 0-0. 15-16, 0-0. And 13-14, 0-0. So many 0-0s between the two sides. 6 of the last 7 Crystal Palace matches have seen under 2.5 goals. 8 of the last 9 road matches for Everton have seen under 2.5 goals. The Crystal Palace side are very, very strong defensively. Play a back 3, very, very hard to break down. And Everton will be absolutely on a downward spiral. A huge upward the last kick of the game against Liverpool to force a 2-2 draw. But I think the adrenaline won't be run. If there's such a big high, I think this will be a dull affair. So I'm going to go for under 2.5 goals here at minus 148. Crystal Palace against Everton. I wouldn't rule out the 0-0. I think it's got a low-scoring game written all over it against two sides. I think both managers would probably take a point now if it was offered to them. So they're the 3 matches and the 3 bets for me on Saturday. Going to go for Arsenal to win to 0 against Leicester. They are depleted by injuries, but they're going to be too strong for Leicester. I'm going to go for Newcastle to add to Pep Guardiola and Manchester City's worries with a win on the money line at plus 260. And finally, I'm going to go for Crystal Palace and Everton under 2.5 goals at minus 148. Good luck with your bets, and we'll speak to you all again next week.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made, guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a fugazi. All right? That's a fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These 2 wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Love it. Great open. Fantastic. Thanks to Nigel, by the way. Mike Palm. I've heard a lot of crazy things in my life. This is absolutely asinine. Serena Williams dancing at the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar, quote, was the best 10 seconds of my life. That is absolutely ridiculous. Was that real or Fugazi?
Very Fugazi. I mean, we could probably think of 100 moments that were better than that.
She's
The 23 majors.
Oh!
How about winning with her sister in doubles? How about the Serena Slam, the 4 consecutive? I mean, there's so many moments.
It was 10 seconds.
It was part of a diss track. I mean, okay, it was the Super Bowl. It was nice. That,
Yeah.
You know, they hit the A minor for a long time. That was all good.
Yeah.
Right? But this, I don't. What's even more Fugazi is this argument she didn't do it because it was Drake. Come on, the guy's still poking at her husband. Right? No, she did it for her culture. She lived in L.A. from 3 to 9. Let's move on. She was in Florida by the age of 9. Okay, stop already. Seriously. Fugazi.
Okay. I'm more excited for SNL 50 Sunday than the first round of the NHL playoffs. Is that real or Fugazi?
That's a strong statement, Paul.
This is going to be something Sunday. All the history talent.
I'm going to say it's real. I'm going to say it's real.
Thank
and
you.
it's tough to overcome the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes.
But this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal,
It
right?
is. Well said. How tough is that ticket? I don't even know if Dan Aykroyd's going, which is weird. But, I mean, that is all the musical acts, all the hosts.
How about all the weekend updates
Yeah.
through the years?
Yeah.
Those teams and that stuff.
Oh, the talent and the history, that's going to be phenomenal. And it's 3 hours on Sunday. Ohio State is making a mistake, or made a mistake.
I was good.
With Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator. Is that real or fugazi?
This was going to be, and you cannot be serious next week, but this is totally, that statement is real. They've made a huge mistake here. The biggest supporter of Matt Patricia in the world has got to be Bill Belichick, and he didn't take him to Chapel Hill. That's all I need to know. Lombardi and Belichick did not take this pencil in the ear guy who became an offensive cornerback. He ruined the Lions. How about Jim Caldwell? 10-6 every year, got rid of him for this guy. I mean, that's one of the biggest slaps in the face in all of the NFL history.
Yep. Bit of advice. Don't go crazy today. The day on the calendar should not dictate your love or gifts that you give your significant other, real or fugazi. How do you treat it?
I feel you can only blow it on this day. Right? I feel like you have to meet at least minimal expectations, but you shouldn't go crazy.
What's minimal?
Well, I mean, you should at least
You
have
could blow it,
flowers
that's
and a
true.
card. You blow it. You just
could.
cross it. If you're too dismissive of the holiday, that it shouldn't, I think you can blow it. You have to do a minimum of things. But I've never been a big one that Valentine's Day is, unless you're first dating. Like, it's the beginning of a relationship.
Yep.
People that are in an established relationship, it's an acknowledgement day. For me now, it's more about the kids. My wife had each kid give me a card today, written out. Well, she helped the hand of the 3-year-old, but written out saying what they're most thankful for, what I've done for them, which could have been a Father's Day card, but it was a nice thing. But I got the girls flowers and all that and balloons and stuff. So I went more out for the kids than my wife this year.
Beautiful. I asked Von Toll this. I'll ask you because I remember you told the story on the air. One of the toughest moves is the walkout at the movie theater. Because you're in with the popcorn and the snacks and
Really
whatever.
hard.
You did it, though.
Inception. Oh, I fell asleep early in the movie.
Of all movies.
I fell asleep early. Well, whatever. It was comfortable. Was tired. Cool. And I spent a good 20 minutes trying to figure out what was going on, and I just gave up. I know why waste another hour and a half. I walked out. You're already locked in. There's a high barrier to exit, as Derek would say. Yes. I did it with Inception. I did it.
You gave up.
I couldn't figure what the hell is going on here. I was getting angry, and I said, no more. No more. I have to watch it from the beginning at home when I can focus.
Yeah.
You remembered that.
Yeah. Oh, very good. That's real fugazi. That's great. Oh, man. It's a tough move.
Ever tell you when my father and mother and I were at a movie and the reel broke? We waited 45 minutes. They couldn't fix it.
No.
Yeah. It was.
What was the movie?
The new Dragnet. Remember the Virgin Connie Swale? It was. My dad was so mad. He was so excited to see it. Like 20 minutes in, the film itself broke, and they couldn't. They said, "Oh, we'll fix it." We waited an hour. They said, "Sorry, folks, we'll give you a refund."
Oh God.
He was fuming. That was, I think, the last movie he ever went to, and he lived another 30 years. He was that disgusted with it.
Yeah, not to be trifled with. No. Absolutely.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, man. I remember my dad took me to Beverly Hills Cop, and I couldn't because, I mean, it's just at the time the F-bombs are just flying, and I'm just like, don't tell your mother I took you.
How old were you?
Look at that. What would they come out, 84? They come out 84, 86, 80 something? Yeah. Wild. Young fella.
You were young.
Yeah. 8, what was I, 6? I don't know.
No, older than that, I would think. Yeah.
Well, if it came, I don't know. If it came out, look when that came out.
What year were you born? 77?
Yeah. When Beverly Hills Cop come out? Might have been 2.
84. So you were 7.
How about 2? Is Bridget Nielsen in 2? It might have been Beverly Hills Cop 2, Bridget Nielsen.
It could have been.
Damn good movie. In Pocket, what we're betting coming up next. Visa and Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
You'd have been 9 for 2.
He knows the quarterback was on coke if his girlfriend was not.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
Damn right. Love the movie Casino. Not bad last night. San Francisco plus 14.5. Tight game at halftime. Zags win, but don't cover. Zags win by 11, so we get the cheese. Omaha, South Dakota State over. Beautiful. 98-85. Jackrabbits in that one. Norman Powell over 23.5 points. He had a big game, went over. In the come-from-behind win for the Clippers. That is now a 31-14 run. 31, and it's great. It's a great run over. Just check out the prop analyzer, everydayvsin.com. But Powell's been strong going his over prop with the points. And Juju got me. Woo, what a performance. Down goes UCLA. UCLA women, number one team in the country, 23-0, coming in 22 by double digits. Depends where you shop, but they were getting 1.5 at DraftKings. And USC wins, and Watkins was awesome. So that's a loser there. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to enjoy it. Love this country. I think Canada wins. And Canada will knock off USA for the Battle of the Four Nations. And how about the total? You like it. You'll get, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but the total's 6.5. So I'll take Canada tomorrow night. Good luck, everyone.
All games over in this tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. Arkansas catching 8 against Texas A&M. That's an early game tomorrow morning. I think this rope-a-dope that Coach Cal was doing coming to, he didn't know they were getting beat. They were 0-3. When are we playing our next game? All of a sudden, it's starting to come together for Arkansas, and they're competitive in all these games. I don't know that A&M shoots well enough to blow them out of this game. I'll play over in the game tomorrow. I think every game until you get to the championship game in that tournament, you can play over because nobody wants to get hurt. Remember, nobody wants to get hurt. Yes, there'll be some intensity here because of geopolitical things, but the Canadian power play and their speed.
Yeah.
Look
out of the box.
Look at it. Canada team total over. You can play it over a flat 3-2 here. I like that way of attacking this game as well. But I have Canada plus 140 now to win it all on the adjusted lines here. It was a pick 'em. It pick 'em before, and just because of the results of the first 2 games with Sweden pushing Canada, all of a sudden the market overreacted here.
Yep, edge boost, card never declined. Don't leave money on the table. Put money back in your pocket for doing what you love already, which is betting. Take it to the next level. Edge Boost has your back. If you ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet or needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but you hit your ATM limit, those fees are outrageous. Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors. All gambling-related transactions will be approved. No more headaches. High rollers can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. It works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. And every time you deposit into a gambling account, you earn cashback rewards up to 0.5 percentage point. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. This is a bank account, not a credit card. No approval required or credit checks. Go to edgeboost.bet, code FTM, edgeboost.bet. Start at tier 2 for faster bank transfers, higher cashback rewards. Edgeboost.bet. Sign up for Edge Boost today. There you go. So tonight, coming up, UCLA, Indiana, UCLA 2, and 141 now the total against Indiana. It's a big deal with their record.
It's hard to handicap Indiana now in the post-Woodson. Right? They finally come up with a big win. Yeah. Meanwhile, Cuff didn't like my play. He liked Illinois -7. It wasn't an official play, but he leaned that way. They've played so well since these Cronin rants. But he's right now when you look back and he talk about their travel.
Yep.
We got to go. We see the Statue of Liberty. We see the Pentagon. We're flying, and you're worried about Iowa spending 2 days in L.A. where it's 72 degrees, and we got to fly back east into bad weather. And they haven't won any games outside the Pacific time zone. So what did Richie say? UCLA is a very square play tonight. A very, very square play tonight. So I guess I would play it, but Richie shamed me. He shamed me right off the games. I can't play it, Richie.
That's good. That's great. And Nevada's laying 8 at San Jose State. The Spartans on an 18-2-1 ATS run. And I couldn't believe it the other night.
He said, who's out that caused the line to move 4 points?
I know, right?
3 guys out?
You were great on that, right?
Right.
Like, can San Jose State have a guy that can move the line 5 points? Yeah, right. From 5.5 up to 10. And they were up 17 at the half. And then lost by 3. Now, the Aztecs hit him with a 17-0 run to open the second.
Meanwhile, the Aztecs are we talked about the
Get
first
them
half.
outta here.
Oh, how about the first halves on this team?
Man.
They were down to Air Force.
Yeah.
At half.
Good point. Houston 1.5. I like Arizona. Houston 1.5 at Arizona, 138 the total. And the big one, Bama at Will Hill Caesars, 2.5, 172.5. In that one. And these games are tough. I mean, the SEC is so damn good. And I looked at updated bracketology today. Joe Lunardi has 14 teams in to tournament from the SEC. Oh, that would be wild if that happens. And I think it will. But I would lean over with Bama.
What does he have, Missouri?
Auburn.
A 5 seed?
Let me
Where
look.
does he put Missouri in his bracket?
Give me a second.
Yeah, you got time. I'm telling you. How about Wisconsin, Purdue over 148 and a half?
Okay.
How about that? This isn't your grandfather's band. This isn't Steve Yoder. This isn't Steve Yoder's teams. These guys chuck it up there. Ever since they hired that coach that was the analytics guy for the Spurs, this team, it's been hard to catch up to the totals on their games.
Yeah. First 4 out. VCU, SMU, Wake, and North Carolina. Last 4 in. San Diego State, BYU, Arkansas, Georgia. Next 4 out. Xavier, Indiana, Kansas State, Boise. Oh, this bubble. Auburn a 1 in the South. The 8-9 is Gonzaga, New Mexico. Marquette a 5, Michigan State a 4, Illinois a 6, Kentucky a 3, Houston is the 2. In the West, Florida a 1 seed. UConn's an 8. Imagine seeing Hurley in the second round. If you're a 1, wow.
What does he have, Drake, a 10?
Let me look. I think it was 10 or 11.
And Iowa State at 3 because it said possibly in one projection. It must have been because it would be or a 2 because there would be a possible, and just in a projection, a possible second round matchup, Drake versus Iowa State if they both had advanced.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, it's got UCLA a 6, Wisconsin a 4, Memphis a 5. Nice win last night. Texas Tech a 3. Richie's pick on a future St. Mary's a 7 seed.
He loves them.
Yep. Oregon, Utah State in an 8-9 game. You were asking about Missouri's a 6 playing Drake in 11. Drake's an 11? I thought, come on.
So that means Iowa State would be a 3 because it'd be the 3-6 game, so 3-11 if they won.
Iowa State a 3 playing Northern Colorado a 14. Yep, Purdue a 2. Creighton, Oklahoma in a 7-10.
Did you say Michigan already?
I did not. Let me find them. He's got Purdue, Michigan. Where's he got Michigan?
Is Hubert Davis out if Carolina doesn't make the tournament?
Is that what you're hearing?
That's what I'm hearing.
Be tough.
I'm all called it.
That. Yeah?
I'm all called it. Said he wouldn't last 5 years.
Wow.
He told Femi. He told Femi, and then they made the run to the finals.
Right. Michigan a 4 seed.
4, okay.
Okay. Your conference breakdown. SEC 14, 10 from the Big 10, 8 from the Big 12, 4 from the Big East, 3 from the ACC, 3 from the Mountain West.
3 from the ACC.
Wow. Yes.
Louisville, Clemson, and Duke.
Wow.
That's it.
That is brutal. Oh, ever think you'd see the day that happened? 14 from the SEC, 3 from the ACC?
It's bizarro world.
It is. A lot of fun. Other big
College
games.
baseball started today, too. Softball and baseball, Paul. Sure, we'll have Matt Grisham on during the course of the year with all his baseball picks.
You like anything? Do you think?
I haven't looked yet.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of? Derek has high hopes for this.
Yes, he does. We had a long meeting with Jeff Benson, and Chris Bennett.
Yeah.
About booking the Saturday games. You know, people really only want to bet the Friday games with the number 1 starters in these series, right? People don't handicap down to the 2 and 3 starters. So he still thinks it's going to have a big boom. Remember, he said that Super Regional Weekend would be as big as the opening round of the. He's been right about a few things, but this one, not yet.
Yeah. Well, the other news, too, according to Sports Business Journal.
Oh, yeah.
We are getting the 2029 Super Bowl in Las Vegas, and we're jumping the line. So we get 2029. That means we're in, baby, and we're in the rotation.
I'm excited for the Final Four.
That's
regionals,
awesome,
those are all big things to me.
Yep.
Rather than a Super Bowl, is to see a regional final or Final Four here.
Yes, no doubt. That's huge news. And the rotation should be us, Miami, New Orleans. Primetime coming up next, Von Tobel, Murray. And don't forget the new show now with Murray does all the picks on Saturday with the college football, college basketball, all the handicappers. That's great. Big news there. And that's coming up. And then you got go back, listen to the podcast. A lot of picks, a lot of guests today. What Lou gave out UFC, what Jonathan Davis gave out, And always go up to the website, too. Nigel with the picks. Great information on Crystal Palace, Everton, with the history there.
How about Leicester? Shut out their last 4 at home.
Yeah, another good angle. Great job, Mike. Phenomenal.
Thanks,
A+. Good list.
Enjoy your vacation
Thank
next
you.
week.
It's Von Tobel and Palm Monday. Mitch back Tuesday. Go get them.